bringing you all the big talking points from the world of Pembrokeshire sport. We're live now on social media, so you can watch along. You can also listen in all the usual places you get Pure West, on the app, your smart speakers, and on DAB digital radio across the county. We're going to get into the weekend's football. First up, we'll be looking at a 0-0 draw between Goodwick and Hakin. Is that the title race now done and dusted? And things are quite interesting at the bottom as well, with a big win for Carew, as we heard about in the first hour of the show, and also Narberth and Fishguard picking up valuable points. After the Six Nations, we had the return of club rugby, so we'll get a full roundup on that, and we'll do some international football. Also, we'll turn our attention to the World Cup qualifier for Wales later on this week, and we'll talk about what Craig Bellamy's side need to do if they're going to get past Bosnia on Friday. I'm sure some Premier League chat to come as well between now and 8 o'clock on Pure West Sport with Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors. Gordon's already chuckling. How are you, Gordon? All right?
I'm very good. How are you, Ben? I'm really concerned about you, mate.
I do get lots of welfare checks these days. My friends messaging, Ben, are you okay? Ben, are you okay? As every Nottingham Forest goal went in yesterday. The answer is I'm surviving, but that tested me yesterday, Gord. That really did test me. So,
I think you'll be okay, mate. Don't worry about it. I think Spurs will just stay there by the skin of their teeth.
And everyone keeps saying to me, I think
but if
you'll
they
be
don't,
okay.
As I said to you off here, they'll have the best stadium in the Championship.
Yeah. Well, Fraser's already planning beers in Swansea next year, aren't you, Fraser?
Yeah. Absolutely. We'll go to Swansea and London. We'll have a great day.
Yeah. How are you? You okay?
I'll book them in now. Yes. And me and Gord were big fans back in the day. The documentary Too Good to Go Down, mate. So, which is a famous one about Manchester United under Tommy Doherty, was it, Gordon?
Correct, mate. Yeah, it was a schoolboy there. So, don't go that far back, mate.
If it warms your heart, Ben, everyone said that United side were too good to go down. They went down, and 2 years later, they won the FA Cup.
Can I just tell you
a little bit of Swansea knowledge? They came up 4 divisions, didn't they? And went back down 4 divisions with Toshak. So we won't go there, Fraser.
Guys, I appreciate you saying that. All I will say, having watched yesterday, we are not too good to go down. We're really not too good to go down. Not the way we played yesterday. Yeah, we need to improve. Tom, evening. Are you all right?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thankfully, I stayed away from most of the football on the weekend, so I'm feeling just fine.
Okay, we're going to get into the football, I think, across the county, and maybe start with Gord, because I think you were at the big game, weren't you? Goodwick 0, Hakin 0.
Yeah, and it wasn't such a big game, Ben, if I'm honest. It was a disappointing game. It finished 0-0. I was hoping that Goodwick would have had a little bit more of a go at them, but I think they've resigned themselves to the fact that the league title is going to the Obs and keep their players fresh for the Senior Cup. But it wasn't a great spectacle. It was great weather. It was a great crowd, but unfortunately the football didn't live up to the high expectation of the top echelon of Pembrokeshire League football.
What do you think, Fraser? Did the two sides just cancel each other out, or were we wrong to expect it to be anything different? We don't get 0-0s in Pembrokeshire that often, do we?
I think we've become so used to having dingers between those two in the last couple of years, and we probably assumed there would be goals. Look, I think that it's a game that Goodwick had to win to have any chance, didn't they? I think the title race is over now. It is over. I'll say that straight up. You look at the league table now. Hakin needs 6 points from their last 5 games, and that's if Monkton and Goodwick win all of theirs. Monkton and Goodwick actually play each other this Saturday, so that eliminates one of them. Hakin are at home to Merlin's Bridge. I expect them to win that. That leaves them needing 3 points from 4 games to guarantee it. But I think from Goodwick's point of view, although it was perhaps must win in terms of the title, I think it's important that they got a result. Because they do need, Gordon's just made the point, they do need momentum. They have got big Senior Cup games coming up, or a big Senior Cup game from their point of view. They'll hope it turns out to be games. And we've talked a lot about how this Goodwick side has dropped off the pace this year. They still only lost once in the league. It's still something like 1 league defeated or 2 league defeats in 4 seasons now. It's a remarkable record. Goodwick's problem this year is they've drawn 6 games and obviously lost a West Wales Cup game as well. But, for all this perception that they're not as strong as they were last year, they're still very, very difficult to beat.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because the record is pretty good and the goal differences are absolutely crazy as well. Like Hakin's goal difference is +64, Goodwick's is +44. So I don't think any of us would have predicted that game was going to end 0-0 on Saturday, would we? Gord, do you agree with what Fraser just said there? I think we felt it for a few weeks, but the title is probably too much.
You're right. Goodwick are a quality side, Fraser's right, and their record speaks for itself. Hakin have done a decent job this season, although they're out of the Senior Cup as well. They got the West Wales Cup to concentrate on. So both sides are really, really top-notch. But unfortunately, on the afternoon, it wasn't a great game of football, and that isn't being disrespectful to them. It's just what happened on that particular day. On another day, it could finish 5-3, 6-3, or whatever. It just wasn't any goals there on Saturday.
Finish 0-0. So actually, that's the top, but the bottom of the table is looking quite interesting now. Now, Kilgetty are on 7 points, so they're likely gone now. Just remind us, is it 2 in total to go down? So 2 down, and that makes it so close because above Kilgetty, Narberth and Pennar have both played 18 games. They've got 16 points. Fishguard have got 3 games in hand, but they're on 16 points. And this weekend, the results were interesting. Narberth went to St Ishmael's and got a 1-1 draw. Fishguard drew with Merlin's Bridge as well. Pennar were beaten by Monkton Swift. So it's all to play for down the bottom, isn't it?
It is. I mean, if you had any ray of light for Kilgetty, they do have Narberth to play this Saturday. That's going to be a crunch game for both sides. And they do have Fishguard to play twice. So they will probably be looking at it thinking, we need to take 9 points. It's unlikely, but it's all not quite lost for them yet, even though they are probably too far away. A huge result for Carew, really. A great start when Jack Christopher came in. They looked down for all the world in the first few opening weeks. Have stumbled a bit since then. That defeat to Narberth. To go to Tenby and win at this stage is massive for them. They got 2, because especially they've played 20 games. All the teams below them have games in hand. I think Carew will probably be okay now. The rest's on a knife edge, Ben. I'd be worried for Pennar. Their form, the side I'd say who was struggling for form as much as anyone. Derby defeat to Monkton, we maybe expected that. Monkton were favourites, but they would have wanted something there. And it's huge weeks coming up for a couple of teams now, for sure. Pennar actually don't play this Saturday coming. Narberth have a chance, like I said. They're at home to Kilgetty. Fishguard are at home to Tenby. You suspect they might fancy that with Tenby losing to Carew. Tenby now after the cup competitions, is their season petering out? They'll probably deny that. But
if you remember, Fraser, Fishguard went to Tenby only a few weeks ago.
You're right.
6-3.
You're right. Yeah.
I think they got them at home this Saturday. And Tenby have been a bit hit and miss all season, to be honest with you. They stumbled out of the cup on extra time against Monkton as well. So, and they've got some quality players in their side as well. And it just hasn't happened for them this particular season.
No.
Yeah, indeed. Go on, Fraser.
Oh, just hearing now, West Wales Intermediate Cup final has been confirmed as well. That'll be Thursday, the 15th of April. That's just come through there.
Indeed. And I think we also had confirmation from Ian Baker of when the Senior Cup final will be as well. So that's confirmed for Saturday, the 25th of April. That will be a 2:30 kickoff.
That's the start of the cricket season, isn't it, Fraser?
It is. That's
Sunday, the 26th. Good.
Oh, that's a busy weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
I knew it was close.
I think we've also had a few messages come in saying to mention Clarbeston Road because they had that big win at Kilgetty, didn't they? They won 5-1.
Richard Bevan scoring a hat-trick as well. And none of them were his head because he's renowned for headers. And they were actually trailing 1-0 against Kilgetty as well, if you want to talk about Clarby. They did very well in the second half to score 5 goals, and Kilgetty was struggling in the second half.
They
lost
needed
wind.
That. They needed that. They were on 18 points as well ahead of Saturday. They were
exactly.
Big results for Clarby and Care. It's certainly more interesting at the bottom than it is at the top. You assume that Clarby and Carew are probably safe now, but there's 6 teams there. That includes Kilgetty, who do appear gone. There's 6 teams who still aren't safe yet.
Yeah, it's hard to say which way that's going to go, isn't it? It's going to be an interesting run-in. And as we've seen this weekend, teams can pick up points off each other, and that kind of means you're on the edge of your seat just waiting to see what happens. It's a shame for Kilgetty, though, because they've struggled, haven't they, this season?
I mean, Tish will be kicking themselves as well. We haven't spoken about them, but they've lost their star man. He's not going to play in the Senior Cup final now because he got sent off on Saturday. Aaron Hallam. So,
they'll be sweating on the fixtures, Good. I believe it's a 3-game ban. There is this time the season they start putting midweek fixtures in.
They'll definitely be playing for the. Does it count if you play for the second team as well? Then I've never really looked into it that hard.
believe so.
You can
yeah.
play a certain amount of first-team players in a second team. If it was a midweek game on a Saturday, then they had a game, they could force him in that way, I suppose.
Potentially, but it's a hammer blow if he doesn't play for them, of course.
Oh, yes.
And the hat trick last week and a straight red card, and actually a good result for Narberth then, holding Tish for a point, precious point, but Tish played most of that game with 10 men.
They did.
There's no dressing up, it's a blow.
Yeah, and just as Fraser did touch on, just to give you the fixtures coming up this weekend. So the ones we've just mentioned at the bottom: Fishguard home to Tenby, also Hakin against Bridge, Monkton against Goodwick, Narberth Kilgetty is that crunch game. Really, you feel that if Kilgetty don't get anything there, that is going to be very, very difficult for them to stay up. And if Narberth can win, they'll be edging closer to safety. And then Pennar against St Ishmael's as well. So a busy weekend to come. And plenty to play for, certainly at the bottom of the table, if things maybe at the top look like they're going Hakin's way. And we should also mention Haverfordwest County had the trip to North Wales, didn't they, at the weekend? They went down by 1-0 against Barla. Gord, they'll be a bit disappointed with that, I think. I followed the game.
Yeah. I mean, since the turnaround, to be fair, they've played a lot better in the second half of the season in the split. They will be disappointed. They played really well in the second half of the season, but it's always a difficult place to go to, Ben, and get a result. A draw would have been okay, but it's just a little bit disappointing. But they got a few games left to rectify that. They could still finish top in that section.
Well, actually, the game this weekend is pretty important now because Britain Ferry are the visitors to the Oggy Bridge Meadow. And because of the results this time out, Britain Ferry have actually just gone above Haverfordwest. I think their goal difference is pretty equal, isn't it? I don't know whether they've gone above them on goals scored or goals conceded. It's very, very close. So that game on Saturday is almost a playoff, isn't it? To who's going to finish top? Almost.
It is really, Ben. Yeah, it's a 6-pointer, isn't it? Really. Let's hope that the Bluebirds can perform and get the right result. They'll be wanting to get to the European playoffs at the very least this season, but they've done exceptionally well this second half of the season, no matter what.
And they do, Fraser, know what it's like, don't they, to qualify through this route into Europe.
And I think also work in their favour. If they can avoid defeat this weekend, and I'm not saying they don't go for the win, their final game of the season is Llanelli Town at home. Llanelli Town, have long really fallen off the cliff, haven't they? 10 points, I think, a goal difference of -55. So you expect them to take 3 points from the final day. So you're right. If they can go into the final day top or even joint top, you think they have a very good chance. But this weekend's game is obviously crucial. We had some clarification from Ian Baker at the Senior Cup semi-final as well, haven't we?
Yeah, let me read that. Ian has said, so the sending off is for the team you get sent off for. So specifically in Hallam's case, it would be first team games only. So Gord,
thank you, Mr. Baker, as efficient as ever.
Yeah, very efficient. You did try and identify a loophole there.
I'm delighted that the league secretary is actually listening to us, Fraser.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
Very good. Thank you.
And very much welcome to come on the show as well, Ian, at any point. Absolutely. We really appreciate that. Really quick clarifications. That's good. All right, listen, we'll take a moment. I think we'll change shape of the ball in part 2 because rugby returned across the county this weekend. So we'll get into some of the results. It was good to see a full programme, some really close games as well. We heard about a few of them in the first hour of the show. There really were some close games. So we're going to get into that. We'll do a bit more football in the final part as well because there's a big World Cup qualifier for Wales to come at the end of this week. So we're going to get into that as well. Monday evening, it's Pure West Sport.
Pure West Sport Show.